everyone. Today I thought I'd do a quick tutorial on penny practicing because I know I explain a lot of it in my lessons, but I don't necessarily demonstrate it for you. So I thought maybe this could be a helpful tutorial for you. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to work on, and then we'll actually go through the penny practicing and hopefully this will work out. Okay, so first I'm going to take the camera off the stand and we're going to go look over here. Wait, how do I do it? Over here. So what I'm working on is Camille Saint-Saëns Toccata from Opus 72. And the part I'm going to be penny practicing today is starting right here and continuing to here. Oh, can you see? Yeah, here. Okay, so there to there. So it's just a little bit, and the reason I'm penny practicing it is because for whatever reason I'm having a lot of trouble keeping it straight in my memory, and I'm working on memorizing the piece for performance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at a very slow tempo once I set up my camera, and then we'll get started. Okay, for starters, I'm going to just play the section that we're going to be working on today. And here, maybe you can see the music a little bit better so you can see how it's supposed to sound. I'm just going to do it nice and slow. So it's just that much. So now we're going to penny practice the little musical example that I had just given you. And that involves taking 3 pennies. So 1, 2, 3. I mean, it doesn't have to be pennies. It can be any sort of tangible object like paper clips. It could be peppermints, Starbursts if you want to, some sort of candy if you want to motivate a younger student. Or maybe yourself, maybe chocolate. And anyway, you put them on the bass side of the piano, so over here. And the goal is to be able to play the passage that you're working on 3 times in a row perfectly. So every time you get it right, you put a penny from one end of the piano to the other end of the piano. And every time you get it wrong, you take a penny and you put it back on the other end. So the idea is if you do it 2 times perfectly and then the 3rd time you mess up, you lose all your pennies and you start over again. Now, this may sound like a really tough way to practice, but it definitely helps you with accuracy, and it's very, very good at helping people memorize music, because by the time you're done doing such concentrated work on such a small passage, you often have it memorized. Often, but not always. Either do a bigger section of the music this time around, or you can do a little faster tempo. So I'm going to choose to do a faster tempo because I've already decided I'm working on just this part for right now. So I'm going to go from 60 to 63. My metronome goes up by 3s in the 60s. If you look at it, it kind of changes throughout. And you definitely don't want to go up like 61, 62, 63 because that's just a little slow for progress. It'll take you all day to get where you want to go. So try and find some sort of increment that's reasonable. Oh, I messed up. Okay, so that means my penny doesn't cross the piano, and I hadn't actually, oh gosh, hold on. So that means my penny doesn't cross the piano, and I hadn't actually moved my penny yet to put them back in the original position, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and then put it back so you can see me play. All right, here we go. So let's try this again.
penny goes back across. This is the difficulty about penny practice. Good, so that one was a good repetition. One thing I forgot to say after my mistake was that when you make a mistake in penny practicing, you want to stop, figure out what the mistake is, articulate what you did wrong. So that way you can try and avoid it before you go back and do your next repetition. It makes for a little more effective and efficient practice. That was a good one. So I'm going to put my penny across, and I did it from memory. Yay. Good, now I made 3 pennies across. So again, I can go up another tick on the metronome, or I can choose to do a bigger portion. For purposes of this video, we're just going to keep going because I don't want to get into a longer portion yet. And I don't feel ready to go for a longer portion. So I'm going to go ahead and do the next tick on the metronome. So that's 66. So you can leave your pennies in one place and just put them back across as you succeed, or you can always start with them on that again. It doesn't really matter. Obviously, the pennies are just kind of a way of keeping track. And sometimes I use 5 pennies, sometimes I use 10 pennies. It just depends on how much repetition I feel like the passage needs. But 3 is a good number, kind of for general attempts. All right, so here we go. Now at 66. Oh, I messed up already. That started over. I wasn't focused. So make sure always to focus before you do it, and don't go right into the next repetition. Give yourself like a moment to like refocus. No, I did it again. Still not focused. Take a deep breath. Think about what I'm about to do. So that rhythm wasn't so great. I almost forgot to keep going, but it was close. Let's just throw that one as a practice. I did it again. And what is happening is I'm confusing this part of the piece with another similar part of the piece, so I've got to get it straight. Okay, that was a good one. So penny across. Oh no, I heard the garbage truck outside and I just didn't hear it and didn't focus. Okay, so let's skip ahead. So let's say that we've done all of our tempos up to like some sort of medium tempo. We're not trying to go for broke, like go for our performance tempo here. We're just trying to go to like a better tempo than we had before. So maybe like I'd start on 60 and my goal would be to get to 72 that day. Well, I would write that down so that the next day when I go to practice the same thing, I would know where to start, and you'd start at 72. But now that I'm getting a little like, so let's assume I've already gone all the way to 72 on that one section. Now I would try and slow it down and add a new section to it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to 60, and now I'm going to play a longer bit of the music. So I'm going to put it back on the piano so you can see. Unfortunately, there's a page turn in it, but I'm working on memory, so that shouldn't matter too much. So I'm going to start in the same spot and just keep going. Actually, just kidding. I'm going to change that up a little bit. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to look at the new section first on its own. Then we'll try and combine the two. Because really what you want to do is you want to add 1 or 2 problems at a time. You never want to be working on like 6 different things at a time in your penny practice. Like the whole point is to focus down on like the really essential things. So right now we're going to do this. Okay, so that's what I'm practicing, and hopefully my memory will stand up here because that's really what my struggle is here. So let's try to go for the first penny. Adjust my camera just a little bit. All right, so here we go. Oh, I messed up. Okay, so start over. This one part right here is what always gets me. I don't know why, but the notes are just elusive to me. So maybe let's even break it down even smaller and work on just that measure. So it's, let's do it once without the metronome. Oh. So what happens is I want to play a D sharp when I should be playing a D natural. So I've got to get that out of my head. So let's do it really slow a couple of times. Okay, so that's our tempo. So let's see if we can find the metronome matching tempo. That's like more like 50. Let's try that. So that worked out. I'm going to put a penny across. Now I'm going to do it again. Oh, I messed it up. Penny back across. I played that D sharp again. So once again, let's do this.
played both notes there. I kind of slid on them. Let's do it again. I did it again. All right, let's go slower. That's what happens if you're making too many mistakes at one tempo and you just keep making the same mistakes. You want to go slow because you want it to be at an accessible tempo, like something that you can actually play it at with success. So here we're going to do it at 40, which I know seems really slow, but I'm confident that my penny practicing will help me get up to the right tempo in plenty of time. All right, here we go. All right, that was one. Now let's do it again. That was two. Oh no, I hit the D sharp again. So I lose my 2 pennies and they have to go back and I have to start all over again. Here we go. Got that one right. Now let's try again. Clear my head before I start so I don't get back into the bad habit of playing the D sharp. Oh, I did it then. Oh. So sometimes penny practicing can be very frustrating, but I promise it is so effective. So that was one. Penny across, go back, think about what I'm doing. No D sharp, no D sharp, no D sharp. That was a penny. Last time, the pressure's on. Oh no. Okay, so I made a mistake. Let's assume I didn't make a mistake, just for demonstration purposes. So what I would do is I'd go to the next tick on the metronome, which would be 42. And then I'd just keep working that until I got to about 60. At 60, I would try it with the larger section that goes like this, which I'll play for you at 60. So I still made that D sharp mistake, but I hadn't penny practiced it enough. So you get kind of the idea, but the important part is to do really small challenges. I can make eye contact with the camera now. Turn this off. So, let me turn the metronome off. So, as you can see, the penny practicing method is a very slow method, but really some important pointers are to always tackle really small sections of music. So if you only can do half a measure and you have to do it as slow as 40 on it's the slowest tempo on the metronome, that's fine. Just make sure you do that and then we'll gradually build up. And then what's important is to make sure as you work on it that you're constantly practicing transitions. So if you're practicing in a section, so say you're practicing measures 1 through 4, and then you start practicing measures 5 through 8, that you also make sure you practice measures 3 through 6 or something. So you work on that transition. So you need to penny practice all of those different parts. Another thing that's really great about penny practice is that it's I find a tool that's kind of like mindfulness meditation. You get so when you get into the groove of it, you get so focused and so in the present that all your other concerns like have to kind of melt away, and it's a great way to improve your concentration. So and I find it really relaxing in that respect once I get into it. It can be very frustrating if you're very distracted and you haven't practiced, but it's kind of like meditation in that sense. Like meditation, um, the first couple of times you try it can be very frustrating and you can feel antsy and you can be worrying about other things and just like, oh, is it time to quit yet? But as you get better at meditation, you get better at being in the present moment. And it's the same way with penny practicing. The other really awesome thing about this, as I said, was that it helps you memorize. So try and start memorizing as early as when you're learning the measure for the first time. There's no reason not to just start from the beginning. And then, of course, when you make mistakes, make sure you pause, take a second, regroup, articulate the mistake so that you can make sure you understand what went wrong. Don't just go back and play it again, but articulate the mistake. Like I played a D sharp when I should have played a D natural, and then take a break, take a deep breath, then do it again. If you go straight into it again, you're just going to compound the mistake because you're not necessarily focusing on what went wrong. You just know something went wrong, and you're kind of blindly hoping that it'll work out this next time. And yeah, of course, don't always make penny practicing the only thing you do. Obviously, sometimes playing the piece start to finish or in larger sections is necessary. But it's a useful tool, and especially in the early learning stages or in the polishing stages of your practice. So I hope this helps everyone. Hopefully, it will be up on the site soon. And please feel free to comment with any questions or insights you might have. I'm sure there's lots of you with like good tips that could add to this. And if you're interested, I also have a couple of articles on how to practice, both my own and some others that I can link. I'll put them in the comment or in the oh, whatchamacallit, in the footer thing for the video. And maybe that can also jumpstart your practice a little bit. Anyway, happy practicing. Bye.